Hey neighborito on YouTube. So today we are disassembling a Nippon Denso something number. It's a common tach used on Hondas and pretty much every Japanese motorcycle. So I've already gotten it apart this far. What I did is I popped the ring that crimps it together because it's crap design. And we are going to finish disassembling it because it has a hang-up. When it hits up to like 3,000 or 4,000 RPMs, it sticks when it's not perfectly flat. And obviously it's mounted like on a tilt on the bike, so it hangs. So we're going to finish taking it apart and take a look and see what it is causing the hang. It's something to do with the orientation of this shaft to the actual body that has the mechanical bits in it. So we're going to break it. Pretty much we're going to break it. It's the only real option when it comes to this, is just straight up fucking it. So this will be fun. Let's see if we can position this in such a way as to make it useful to take a video of some sort. Should be able to balance this and such. Oh, hey. And just sort of put it like that and take your shit apart. So it has an input shaft, which is this, and that's where the tach cable goes in, because this is the classic mechanical version of these. And there's magical shit that happens on the inside of this. And the way it works is, when the input shaft is spinning the correct direction, this will climb up, and then it'll stick. That should have a smooth return to it. But if you notice, it sticks in several different spots. But it has a cute little return spring deep on the inside of this, and that's what causes it to return back when it's not spinning. And there's magical bullshit that happens. Ooh, you can feel it, and it feels real bad. So this actually sits on top of something and feels like shit. So whatever it is, it needs lubricated probably. We are going to find out. We are going to find the fuck out what is wrong with this. So this is what would be the top right if you're looking at the face of the dial screw I'm removing. These all look like standardized sizes. If I can pull this shit apart. Whatever it is, I'm assuming it needs oil put in it. It's lost whatever its cushion is. You know, I wonder if this is going to squirt shit everywhere. Let's find out. Because I don't know if this is oiled, if it's air. So I'm sort of curious to see what the mechanical bits are. Whoa, fuck. That's the top left or top right. I'm looking at the dial from the face. Moving the bottom right when looking at the face. Not that it really matters too much because they're almost the same. And then the bottom left when looking at the face. So I don't know if that just disconnects cleanly. It seems like it does. Oh, and that actually removes the stop. That's the other one. Oh boy, it's magnetic. I was not expecting that. Okay, so we have our return stop, which zeros. If you noticed, we did not zero out. Zero should be right there. Holy fuck balls, everybody. So that is from slop in the bearing that causes that problem. So in order to actually fuck with that, I would have to, I don't know what to do about that. That's interesting. Okay, if you listen real closely, when it spins, depending on where the torque gets applied, it will make noise, which is not good. So there will need to be some fucking bullshit done to this. Because what it's doing is there is the inner indicator bell, which should be dead centered or something. But that bell that sits around actually gets hung up on this inner guide. It's actually the bearing guide for the needle. If you look up inside the needle for that shaft, comes down into that bell. And this is the actual guide that it sits on top of. And this shit appears to be magnetic. Which is fucking bizarre. But the bearings inside of that feel fucking good, and that's stamped together, so it doesn't really matter. But if you look at that end, it's stamped and crimped, and I think that's all magnetic. Yeah, well, that's definitely magnetic. It has actually a fucking machined magnet, and that's what it uses to do that decoupled speed. That's fucked. Huh. So we're going to play with this mechanical bit in the bottom end, and we're going to see if we can realign it and get it to where it doesn't drag depending on the orientation. So it shouldn't drag when it's sitting like that on the bike. That'll be the goal. That will be the goal. I know it's hard to see due to lighting, but when it's sitting like that on the bike, that needle shouldn't drag on the return stretch when it comes back. Like I said, it's this bell housing right here. Let's see if I can fucking put a flashlight on this. So there's the inner bell on the bottom, and it connects to the shaft, and around the shaft is the spring, and then the spring attaches to the arm that's over here on the left side. Like I said, this is the inner housing guide that sets up in the bell. That's what has this metal point, this metal point, this metal part of the bracket. That's how you center up that needle, and it is the actual needle guide that relates it to the bottom of this frame to the top of the frame where the face connects. So there's the face mount, and then that is the bottom mount where the needle actually gets mounted. So you need to actually use it in conjunction with the magnetic spinner fucking thing, which orients in like that. You need to orient all of that shit and have it align with that guide and base. That's fucked. And then this is the fucking return limiter, which limits it down to 0. Fuck yeah. It should sit right up in there. Huh. That's pretty fucked. We'll be back after tuning. Causes the needle to slowly increase. That's it. I'm gonna put this shit back together and see if it works. Yay. You fuck. Okay. So the actual problem was related to that bell housing on the needle shaft. That's the shaft that the indicator mounts to. It has that bell housing on the bottom, and that was actually rubbing against the return stop. That the bell housing has a little nipple that sticks up, and that actual return stop housing is molded to fit around that bell housing. So what it was doing is it was actually rubbing this bell housing here on the bottom. That was rubbing the bell. And that's what the problem was. So I needed to push it down to the base of the tach. So if you're looking at it this way, it was down towards the bottom. So it would be away from that bell housing. And now it has free fluid motion. And I didn't know it, but these are actually fucking magnetic. Holy fuck. I was looking inside this shit. There is an actual magnetic fucking stator that the shaft goes to. And that fucking shit's magnetic. And it relies on that air needle shaft bearing along with the return spring for its fluid return motion. And it literally uses magnetic drag to spin that bell housing. It drags on that and causes it to fucking slowly turn via the rotation, because it's using induction, and it's not magnetic, but it's causing eddy currents in that bell housing, and it causes it to rotate, which causes the needle to slowly increase. That's it. I'm gonna put this shit back together and see if it works. Yay.